Hi, as you are aware, there is an unprecedented change in the educational sector across the world due to COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic situation has paved the way for distinctive rise of e-learning. Now, we are witnessing an exponential growth in the online content being created on World Wide Web to reach out to the learners. This very challenging period also tested the preparedness of educational institutes to facilitate online learning. In this scenario, the teachers and other stakeholders need certain skills of developing e-content. And here there is an attempt to train you on developing e-learning content or an e-learning video. So in this session, I'll be demonstrating how to make an educational video using a particular software called Camtasia Studio. Camtasia Studio is a product of TechSmith Corporation. So before that, we should know what are the different formats of digital content. Digital content exists in 5 general formats. They are text, graphics, audio, video and animation. And actually when these are combined together, we call it as multimedia. If you look at video, it is actually a multimedia. It contains text, graphics, audio, everything together. Now, what are the different textual content formats? Common formats are .pdf, .docx, .txt, etc. Softwares used for creating these, for example, PDF is Adobe Acrobat. .docx is the MS Word format. .txt is actually WordPad WordPad format. Now, when you look at pictures, it's otherwise called as graphic content. The common formats are JPG, PNG or Portable Network Graphics. .jpg, the full form is Joint Picture Expert Group. .psd, it is the Photoshop format. .wmf, it is Windows meta file. So all these are different graphic formats. Graphic files are of basically 2 types. They are vector graphics and raster graphics. I will explain in detail what is this raster graphics and bitmap graphics or raster graphics, what they are. First of all, vector graphics. The common formats which we find are CDR, .svg, etc. Software used for editing vector graphics are CorelDRAW and Inkscape. Inkscape is a free software which you can download from the internet. Go to www.inkscape.com or you just type in Google, download Inkscape, you can download this software. It's very good in drawing vector graphics. Similarly, CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is also a costly software. Now the latest version, I think it is coming to around 35,000 or 47,000 per license. It can be downloaded and use the license to make it yours. Then the next set of graphics is raster graphics, or common formats are .gif, .jpg, .png. Already I have told about it. .gif is graphical interchange format. Usually it is animated graphics. Then JPG and PNG is Portable Network Graphics, already I have told. The softwares used for editing the raster graphics are Photoshop and GIMP. GIMP is Graphical Image Manipulation Program. So Photoshop you might be knowing very much because most of the studios in our places are using Photoshop to make a picture better. And GIMP is similar to photographics, which you can download free from the internet. So both these are raster graphic editors or bitmap editors. What exactly is this? The vector graphics and raster graphics, how they are differing. See this picture. In the raster graphics, when you zoom a particular picture, finally you will get small squares, and each square is having a particular color. That is how that letter or any picture appears. JPG, GIF, PNG, etc. are raster. For example, you zoom your own passport size photo, which is scanned and then uploaded in a particular software, and you just try to zoom it, it will look like this particular thing. Whereas In the case of a vector graphic, even if you zoom to the maximum extent, that squares will not come up. It will be just exactly the same letter you can see even after zooming to a maximum extent. So that is the difference between raster and vector graphics. Vector graphics are the graphics made out of vector formulae, whereas this raster picture is made out of small pixels or picture elements, and each picture element is equivalent to a bit. That's what it is the technology says. So that is what the digital content in graphic format. Now comes audio files or sound files. Common formats are MP3, WMA, .wav, etc. Software used for editing the audio files are Audacity, Adobe Audition, Acoustica, etc. There are many. If you look at in Google, you can find out so many of such softwares which are used for editing audio files. So among them, Adobe Audition, Acoustica, etc. are costly softwares, whereas Audacity is a free software which is having professional quality. You can use it for any type of manipulation. Audacity, you can download it from the internet. The latest version of it has almost all facilities of a professional audio editing software. So I'll be demonstrating. If I get time, I will be editing that, showing that particular software also. Audio files. Now comes video files. Common formats are .mp4, .avi, .wmv, etc. The softwares used for editing the video files are OpenShot, VSDC Editor, Camtasia Studio, Movavi Editor, etc. Out of these, the first two are freely available on the OpenShot is totally freely available on the net. VSDC Professional Edition, if you want, you have to download, pay for it, whereas a free version also is available. Camtasia Studio is a total professional educational content development in the video. It is available from TechSmith company. They sell it, and in India also it is available. I purchased some 3 years back for 14,000 rupees for 2 licenses. Still it is working very well with me. Then comes Movavi Editor. So many editors are there. Ice Cream Editor is there. So many video editors are there. Even in your mobile phone also you can edit videos. So that is what video editors. Similarly, now comes animation files. The common formats are .gif, graphical interchange format. FLV is of Flash, and SWO is F also is another animation format. Software used for editing the editing the animation files are Blender, Anime Studio, OpenToonz, Adobe Flash, etc. Now the new name is Adobe Animate. So out of these, I think OpenToonz is the only free thing. Others are costly items. Adobe Flash, absolutely, it's a product of Adobe company, so naturally it is a costly software. So these are the different file formats. So we should know how to edit all these formats, and then only you can go into developing a video. It's not just a video alone. You have to incorporate the various digital file formats into your video. So naturally you have to learn all these things. So whatever is possible in this minimum time, I will I can demonstrate all those things. So let us see how to develop a video. While developing a video, what are all the things you should know? One is basically a plan. What sort of a video you are going to make, and what are its details? What should be the narration? What is the text that is appearing there? What picture will come up? What animation will be there? If there is going to be a background music, all those things. What is the narration that whether you will record it or somebody else will record it? So these are all should be written in advance. See, if you look at the developing of a cinema, a proper cinema naturally starts with a small bit of a story, and then it gets developed into a big script, and they will decide who will act there, what are the background, which place they will shoot, all those things they will write in a proper format. With that script only they will start shooting a video or a film. Same way, you have to have a proper script for your educational video when you are going for it. And then organizing component files. Component files are the 5 file formats which I have already told. The components files may include pictures, audio files, your narration files, background music files, then other videos which you wanted to include in your video. So all these things are the component files, and then they have to be properly, for example, if you have a picture to be added as scene number 1, its narration should also be given the same number, narration 1. That way you have to organize all the component files, then it will be very easy. Then editing all these things in the video editor, you have to bring them in the video editor, all these things at one place. Then you can ask the software to render it or combine them together into a video. That's called rendering. And once it is rendered in a proper format, it can be uploaded in a channel. Channel means you can upload it in a YouTube channel, or if you have your own website with a facility to upload videos, naturally you can upload that there also. So this way, these are the various aspects which I would like to explain during this demonstration. So let us go into the development of the video using the software called Camtasia Studio. Now I will show you a 5-minute video on ethical aspects in academic writing. It is for 5 minutes. We will try to create the same video during this demonstration, which you can follow. To this video on ethical aspects in academic writing. When we think of academic integrity and ethics in academic writing, the first thing that comes to our mind is plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Plagiarism is the act of presenting the words, ideas, images, sounds, or the creative expression of others as your own. Another definition for plagiarism is it is the act of stealing someone else's work and attempting to pass it off as your own. This can apply to anything from term purpose to photographs to songs, even ideas. How bad is plagiarism? Yes, plagiarism is the theft of intellectual property. Plagiarism is cheating. Plagiarism may result in receiving a failing grade or 0 for the assignment. Plagiarism could result in disciplinary actions. Students caught plagiarizing may be denied admittance to further academic courses. People have lost their positions and honor because of plagiarism. There are 2 types of plagiarism. One is intentional, the other is unintentional. Under intentional, copying a friend's work, doing friend's homework, buying or borrowing papers, cutting and pasting blocks of text from electronic sources without documenting them, media borrowing without documentation, etc. are all intentional plagiarism. Whereas careless paraphrasing, poor documentation, quoting excessively, failure to use your own ideas, all these are unintentional plagiarism. When we adopt ideas from others, we do it in 3 ways. They are quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Quoting. Quotations are the exact words of an author copied directly from a source, word for word, and hence quotations must be cited. While quoting, people copy as such, and it is called as verbatim copying. Verbatim quoting or copying as such from the source. In such situation, you have to put the copied content in double inverted commas and provide in-text citation. If the number of words in the copied content goes beyond 39 words, it should be converted as a block quote with the in-text citation. Paraphrasing. Writing in your own language. Paraphrasing is restating text, giving the meaning in another form. You paraphrase when you use text written by another person. Rewrite the text in your own words. Paraphrasing shows that you have read and understood the original text rather than repeating it word for word. In such situation, you have to put the copied content with the in-text citation. No need of inverted commas.
Do I have to cite everything? The answer is no. If something you write is common knowledge, you need not provide citation. If you are doing in-text citations, you don't have to cite facts that are widely known or information or judgments considered common knowledge. Mahatma Gandhi is considered as father of our nation. The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. These are actually common knowledge. If you see a fact in 3 or more sources and you are fairly certain your readers already know this information, it is likely to be common knowledge. But when in doubt, definitely you have to give citation. No need to cite when you are discussing your own experiences, observations, or reactions. Compiling the results of your original research from science experiments, etc., there is no need of citing. You are using common knowledge. That time also there is no need of citations. Just like internet is helping you in getting the literature that you need, it also helps the authorities to check whether you have copied or you have plagiarized content in your research work. There are many softwares to check similarity in the academic writing. Such software detect the extent of similarity in your research reports. Some of them are Authenticate, Turnitin, and Urquhart. Hope you understood the concept of plagiarism, and thank you for listening to this video. Thank you.
Now let us see the interface of Camtasia Studio software and get familiarized with the various options available there. So this is the interface of Camtasia Studio. You can see the menu items, the usual menu items, file, edit, modify, etc. And here there is a record button. I will tell you about this little later. And then there are certain commands like media, annotation, etc. are there. And this is the place where we will bring the media items. And then here there is something called as the timeline is there. And here you can see track number 1. Similarly, you can add more tracks one above the other. They will be named as track 1, track 2, like that. And here you can see a line, and this is called the playhead. So here in this timeline, you will be arranging the various media elements like the graphics, video, audio, all these things you will be arranging either in a linear fashion or one above the other. When you arrange one above the other, if a graphic is placed in track number 1 and another graphic is just placed above that, the one above the first one will be shown in the screen here or preview screen here. So when the cursor or the playhead moves over this, whatever is there will be visible on this preview screen. This is how it works. So we have to first bring the items here, then drag and drop in this timeline. This is how it works. So let us bring the various elements like the graphics, the sound, everything into this system. For that, what you have to do is you have to click on this particular plus sign. So there is an option called import media. Then you can see that I have arranged everything in a particular folder, and here you can see they are named as, the folder is named as slides. In that I have all the slides arranged with a number 1, 2, 3 like it is arranged, and there are around 15 such slides which make that the entire video. The video that you have seen little earlier, all are there. All those graphics are there. So what we can do is we can click on one, then press Ctrl A, all are selected, and click on the open button. They all will come here one after the other. They will be arranged according to the number. So it is, you have to make sure that you are numbering them according to the sequence in which it appears in the video. Now what you can do is you can just drag and drop the first item here, simply to show how it works. I have just dragged and dropped it here. So that is the first slide. So here when I click on this, you can see that it just moves all over because there is no other thing, it is shown there. Then now the second one, you can just drag and drop it here and then play it. So the second one shows up there. This is how you have to bring it. But the problem is sometimes the narration may go beyond the picture. Narration will be bigger than the picture. So what we have to do, that's what we have to learn first. If the narration goes beyond the picture, what you can do is you can drag the picture to the extent where the narration is required, like this. Okay, so what you have to do is for each slide you have to bring its concerned narration also. That's what we are going to do. So what I will do is I will again click on the plus button, click on the import media. I have all the narrations kept in another folder called the narrations itself. You can see all those are numbered in the same fashion. So 15 such narrations are there. So it will be very easy for you to correlate the slide along with the sound when you make an educational video. So just click open it. All those 15 will be brought to the system. So now you have the first item. You can just drag and drop in the second. So the track got named now. It will be in the second one. So I will just take the playhead little to the beginning, and then we will just play it. Let us see what.
Hi, welcome to this video on ethical aspects in academic writing.
Yes, so it worked very well. It worked well. I will repeat it again.
Hi, welcome to this video on ethical aspects in academic writing.
Don't worry about those repetition and all. When you when you render it, those things will go away. And now what I will do is I will bring the second file here. See, this is what I told you a little earlier. Here the sound is bigger than the picture. So here you can just click on the picture, and when you bring the cursor there, it makes you able to extend it like this. So now the picture as well as the sound are of the same size.
When we think of academic integrity and ethics in academic writing, the first thing that comes to our mind is plagiarism.
Yes, so it worked very well. Now what we have to do is bring the third one and just drag and drop it just like this, and then play it. Nothing, no sound is there. Now what we can do is we can bring in the sound for that. So sound will be little down there, the third file. Since the number is there, we need not worry about it much. Again drag. Now see, again the same thing happened. Here you have to drag the picture to the extent of the sound. Difficult little bit, but you can drag it and drop it. So now play it.
What is plagiarism? Is the act of presenting the words, ideas, images, sounds, or the creative expression of others as your own.
That's all. So this way it works. Now I have to tell you one thing. See, from one scene to the other, when it goes, it abruptly stops. It comes very quickly. That change is not that plagiarism? Good. You might have heard of the transitions in PowerPoint. The same type of transitions are possible in this also. So what you have to do is go to the transitions and find out. When you move the cursor over it, you can see the different types of these transitions available there. What you can do is just click on it and drag and drop on these things. That's all you have to do. Then here also you will have to do, and here also you can just. So in all the slides I have added transitions. Now let us see how it works.
Hi, welcome to this video on ethical aspects in academic writing. When we think of academic integrity and ethics in academic writing, the first thing that comes to our mind is plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Is the act of presenting the words, ideas, images, sounds, or the creative expression of others as your own.
See, it worked very well. Now, similar way, we have to bring in all the 15 slides the same way along with the sound. So I will do it, and then after complete, it's the same way. So we need not worry about it. Just drag and drop one after the other, and then adjust the picture according to the length of the narration. That is how you have to do it. But remember, this dragging is possible only in the case of picture, whereas in the case of video or audio, it is not possible. If a video is recorded for 1 minute, you cannot stretch it for 1.5 minutes. If it is an audio, same thing. If it is recorded for 1 minute, it is for 1 minute only. You cannot stretch it for 1.5 minutes. Whereas a picture, it's a picture, so you can drag it to the extent you need it. As you can see, the recording has been brought here. The screen recording has been brought here, and this is the file. And when you run it, you can see some unwanted areas are there in this. The original animation starts exactly from here, and then it ends at the end of this clip. Yes, we need up to this only. So this is the portion which we want as a introductory video for our educational video. So what you have to do is, from this we can cut off this portion. So how to cut it? So select the slide, and here there is an option. It is to split the video into two pieces. So you can see it has been split into two pieces, and as you know, this is not required for you. Right click, there is an option to delete it, or just press the delete key in your button. This way we have made the animation, introductory animation for that. Along with this, I wanted to add a background music as an introduction. Then later on, when the original educational video comes, you can avoid it. Okay, so I have made a small audio file, and I am going to bring it here. BG music, and then bring it here and place it exactly where you need it. But it's a long file. What you can do is you can just edit that entire thing. Yeah, you can bring back this like this, bring it here exactly where it ends. Now the problem is, if you start this, all of a sudden it works like this. What I feel is, it should slowly begin and slowly end it. So what we can do for that, see, there is an option called audio effects. In that there is fade in and fade out is there. Fade in means slowly you come in. So you just drag and drop into this, then you can see there is a growth, like you can see that slow. Similarly, fade out also, if you bring, it will show this slide. Now it will look very nice. Slowly the sound. This is what we want. So this can be converted into an introductory video. What you have to do is, again go to share, local file, next MP4, remove this, next watermark again is there, and then screen 5 we will say just screen 5, and then save it exactly where you want it. Finish. You can see that I have brought all the slides and the corresponding narrations into the timeline 1 and 2 respectively. And in certain cases, you can see that the pictures have been dragged a little extra to suit the sound. For example, in this case, you can see the slide has been, its original size was only this much, and it has been extended up to this, and because the sound is up to this. So same way, all the 15 slides have been brought there, and its corresponding audio files also have been brought. They are arranged perfectly well, and now it is ready for rendering. Here, one more thing you have to see, you remember is, see, if at all you want to add transitions, there are several transitions available here. If you wanted to add them, that should be added only after stretching it. If you add a transition prior to stretching it, it will not work at all. So first stretch the picture to the extent you want it, then you bring in the transition just like this, drag and drop, it will work. Now another important thing is, when you click here, see there is a small green line. You can see this is actually the volume of the sound, the narration. So I have just brought it to the maximum because it should be loud enough. So I just brought it. You go according to your creativity, the way you want it, you just do it. So this way you can adjust the sound also. Now in academic videos, usually we don't find a background music. Suppose you feel that you need a minimum background music, what you can do is you can edit an audio file, a minimum small file, and then you can bring it in track number 3 and make it of a lower volume, a minimum volume. So it will soothe the listeners. This way you can create it. Once it is done, what you have to do is you have to combine them together to make a video. Means you are going to render the entire setup into a video. For that, what you have to do is you have to click on share as a local file. Then you have to go to the next button, and here it says it is MP4 along with a smart player, but there are other options also. You don't need all those things, so go for MP4, and then here it comes along with a player. We don't want that. In the case of an educational video, we can avoid it. Now suppose if you want your name or as a watermark somewhere, you can make a PNG file with, see here I have made my name as a watermark, and it will be shown as an embossed item like that. And then that means if somebody can use, whenever somebody makes use of it, our name also will be there. That way it will help you. And then click on the next button and then give a file name. Here I am going to give file name as scene 3, and then it goes to the this particular folder. Doesn't matter, we can trace it later on. Then click on the finish button. So it will be rendering like this. Now it is on. You can see that it is rendering the video. It may take around some 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the memory of your computer as well as the processing speed of your computer. It will be quick. Now let us see how to record the screen using Camtasia Studio software. When you install Camtasia Studio software, a small add-in gets added to the PowerPoint. You can also use the record option in Camtasia Studio. Both are same only. Let us see how it works. When you click on the record button in Camtasia Studio, a small software will start working, recording whatever is on the screen, and that process is called a screen casting or screen recording. Here in PowerPoint, I have made a particular slide with some minimum animation. So when I show that animation, that entire screen also gets recorded. So this is the first slide where I have made the animation, and I am going to show it by clicking in this button. The animation starts. You can see something coming up. A picture which I have drawn using Inkscape has been given some minimum animation of flying in and then zooming out. So this will be an introductory slide. So this I have recorded using the screencasting option. Now let me show you how I have made those 15 PNG pictures or graphics using this PPT. First, what you have to do is design the entire PPT one by one, the way you want to present it. You have to make the PPT, and then see I have made everything required separately in each slide. And what I am suggesting is, don't put lot of text into each screen. You can, if at all you wanted, even this slide is too much of text is there. So what you can do is you can cut from this line onwards into a new slide. Like that you make it, and make it bigger so that people can read it. Like that you can make the slides. After making all the slides, what you have to do is you have to go to the file option, and there you can say save as and make it available anywhere. For example, here I am putting it on the desktop, and then you have to save it as a PNG network graphics format file, and then click on the save button. Then it will ask a question. It is asking whether you should change all slides into PNG or only the first slide. what you have to say is click all the slides, so that all the 15 slides will be saved as independent files with the number 1, 2, 3 like that. It says each slide in your presentation has been saved as separate file in the folder, and it says the folder ethical aspects in academic writing, and click OK. It is done. So we will go and see it. See here, there is a folder. I will bring it here. In this, if you open, you can see slide 1, slide 2 like that. It has brought all the slides. There are some more slides because while copying it has got added some more slides, I think. So it is there. All the slides have been brought into the system within a peculiar folder, and it is named as ethical aspects in academic. The same name of the PowerPoint will be given to that. This way you can get all the slides separately. Then you can bring it into Camtasia. As you can see, the recording has been brought here. The screen recording has been brought here, and this is the file. And when you run it, you can see some unwanted areas are there in this. The original animation starts exactly from here, and then it ends at the end of this clip. Yes, we need up to this only. So this is the portion which we want as a introductory video for our educational video. So what you have to do is, from this we can cut off this portion. So how to cut it? So select the slide, and here there is an option. It is to split the video into 2 pieces. So you can see it has been split into 2 pieces, and as you know, this is not required for you. Right click, there is an option to delete it, or just press the delete key in your button. This way we have made the animation, introductory animation for that. Along with this, I wanted to add a background music as an introduction. Then later on, when the original educational video comes, you can avoid it. Okay, so I have made a small audio file, and I am going to bring it here. BG music, and then bring it here and place it exactly where you need it. But it's a long file. What you can do is, you can just edit that entire thing. Yeah, you can bring back this like this, bring it here exactly where it ends. Now the problem is, if you start this, all of a sudden it works like this. What I feel is, it should slowly begin and slowly end it. So what we can do for that, see, there is an option called audio effects. In that, there is fade in and fade out is there. Fade in means slowly you come in. So you just drag and drop into this, then you can see there is a growth, like you can see that slow. Similarly, fade out also, if you bring, it will show this slide. Now it will look very nice. Slowly this is what we want. So this can be converted into an introductory video. What you have to do is, again go to share, local file, next MP4, remove this, next watermark again is there, and then screen 5 we will say just screen 5, and then save it exactly where you want it. Finish. Now let us see what all we have learned so far. You know now to record screen using Camtasia, edit videos, audios, etc. in Camtasia, compile video files in Camtasia, then make .png files of your PowerPoint presentation, how to add a background music, etc. Now what is left is how to edit audio files. So let us turn to Audacity. As I told you earlier, Audacity is a software which is freely available on the net. You can download and install it in your system.
As I told you earlier, the software Audacity can be downloaded from the internet free of cost. It can be installed in your system, and when you install, a shortcut like this will appear. You can double click and open the Audacity, and its interface looks like this. Here you can see a set of controls for playback. This is to start the play, and this is to stop the play, this is to pause the play, this is to go to the beginning of the play, this is to the end of the file, and then this is to record the file. And here you can see some controls which are very useful in manipulating the WAV file. Now I am interested more in these two things, which is zoom in and zoom out, because you can zoom in into a WAV file and you can see the finest wave in a file, and you can manipulate it, and again come back using the zoom out option. Anyway, what I did is I have recorded the entire narration for my presentation as a single file. You know why I did it? Because if you record your sound at 2 to 3 different intervals, the sound, the ambience around us may change. So to avoid that, it is better to record the sound at a stretch. Then what has happened is, in between the narration for each slide, I kept a little bit of gap so that you can easily identify the narration for each slide. This is how I did it, and I am going to bring that file here. File, open, and this is the file, total audio recording. Click open it. The file comes up, and you can see, you can just enhance the view by clicking on the zoom out option like this. Sorry, zoom in option. So you can see the wave format. Here what you can do is, initially you can see remove the noise from around the wave format. So here there is no recording in fact, but still there is a wave, and that is called the noise. So the system should understand that this is the noise and this is the recording, this area is the recording. So you have to select this area and go to effect. Here there is noise reduction option, click on that, and step 1 is to get the noise profile. Click on it. So the system understands that this is the noise. Now what you have to do is press Ctrl A. Ctrl A is for selecting the entire file, because you have to remove the noise from the entire file. Now what you have to do is go to effect, and then again click on noise reduction, and then the default values are okay for us, and then click OK, so that the entire noise from the wave file is removed. This is how it works. Now we have to enhance the volume of this file. So what we can do is, again select the entire file, because the entire file, that volume has to be increased. For that, select the file with Ctrl A and then go to effect. The option is amplify, and when you see this dialog box, here there is an option called allow clipping. It should be tick marked, then only it will work, and then it should be increased a little bit like this, and see the preview how it works.
Hi friends.
That means it is okay for us, or if you want you can add little bit more and then press OK. When you click OK, you can see the change what is happening to the wave. See, it has enhanced a lot. This is how we enhance the volume of a recorded sound. Now in this case you can see lot of unwanted areas are there. With the pause, you can just delete it by selecting it like this. Here also it is there. And now when you play it,
Hi friends, welcome to this.
so here there is an area where you can hear a voice which is unwanted. You can select it very clearly and then delete it. Again some more pauses are there, which I will select and then delete. One. Here there is another area which is again causing the extension of the timing of the audio, which is not at all required. You can just delete it. Now the whole thing for a particular slide has been selected. Now what you can do is file, export this audio as a selected audio as narration 1. So what you can do is you can save it with the name N1, which means it is narration 1 relating to the slide 1. and there is nothing to do here. It is metadata of the file. Click OK, and then it is done. Now comes the second slide. You can see the big gap here. Just move like this, and you can just delete that area. In fact, now from here to you select and then see. I think it goes up to this area. Now play it and see whether it is. When we think of academic integrity and ethics in academic writing, the first thing that comes to our mind is, that means up to this it comes. So we have to select from here. The first thing that comes to our mind is, again I made a mistake. You have to select properly. I think it is from here. I should have retained that gap. When we think of academic integrity and ethics in academic writing, the first thing that comes to our mind is plagiarism. Okay. Here what is happening is a lot of pauses are there. You can even delete them one by one. One I have deleted. Again here there is a pause. Here one more is there. Yes, almost done. When we think of academic integrity, that means you can select the entire area up to this, and then go to file, export as MP3 file. You can see it is MP3, N2 it is, and save it. So this way you can go for editing the entire file like this and make small files which will be useful for attaching to your video. This is how you use Audacity for editing the narrations. Now let us go further. So far we have learned how to edit audio using Audacity, how to make slides using PowerPoint and then convert them into PNG graphics, and how to import them into Camtasia and then integrate with the sound files, and to compile everything into a single video. This is what video making. Now what I will do is, I have made some 4 or 5 files of this project. I'm going to combine them together to finalize the end product, and you can see that. You can see that all the slides are arranged. Their narrations are arranged here properly, and for each slide there is transition given, so it will look very nice when you compile the video. Now what you have to do is, after arranging everything, you have to go to share, and in that you can click on the local file option, and then next, and after that click on the MP4 option, avoid this controller, and then you can click on the next button, and then say my final video, and finish it. This is how you have to do it, and you can see that the compilation or rendering happens. You will get the final video. This is the practical approach for creating an educational video, and there is no limit for your creativity. You can add anything. You can make it a very beautiful video by bringing in various elements into it. Hope you have enjoyed learning this video making. Thank you for listening to this demonstration. Thank you very much.